Satan appeals to a worship leader's pride and 70,000 people die. What went wrong? Hey friend, I want to share a gripping moment in King David's life. A worshiper and a warrior who made a prideful decision that led to disaster. But even in failure, God's mercy prevailed. This message carries a strong warning and a deep encouragement, especially for the worship leaders and spiritual influencers. You see, this week I read 1 Chronicles 21, which says, Satan incited David to take a census. But in 2 Samuel 24, of the same incident, it says God did. Is that a contradiction? No. This is a dual lens of spiritual reality. God is sovereign and even over Satan's schemes. He allowed the temptation to expose what was in David's heart. Though David was a man after God's heart, he was still vulnerable to pride. Satan stirred that up. Confirm your greatness, he whispered. Count your army. Leaders often face this temptation to measure their effectiveness instead of trusting God's ability. David had seen many military victories, but at this moment, he didn't inquire of the Lord like he did before, which opened the door to spiritual compromise. He listened to those prideful thoughts. Sound familiar? Satan doesn't always show up with a pitchfork. He appeals to logic, strategy, what seems justifiable. It may have felt like David's responsibility to be a good leader, but it was pride. And here's what's sobering. David still chose. Satan tempted, God allowed, but David acted. Even Joab warned him, but David pressed on. The Bible says each person tempted when they're dragged away of their own desire and enticed, James 1:14. Judgment came, 70,000 people died, but that's not the end. David repented, humbled himself and said, I will not offer the Lord that which costs me nothing. And he bought the property, built an altar, and the very spot became the future of Solomon's temple, where the Ark of the Covenant was. What began in pride ended in worship. What started in failure birthed the legacy. So why did God allow the pain? To purify the people, to humble the leader, and ultimately show mercy. Even in judgment, God stopped the angel and laid a foundation for future glory. I know I listened to Satan exploit my human weaknesses. He stirred me up in pride and I made poor choices. But in God's mercy, he humbled and restored me. And I'm a better leader as a result. And maybe you've made a bad call. You pushed forward in pride. You listened to the wrong voice. But God is still sovereign, still merciful. And he can redeem what the enemy meant to destroy. So pause. Repent if needed. And build your altar. Something costly. That's where God meets us. That's where he turns failure into purpose. You're not disqualified. You're being refined. Get up, move forward, and lead again, and make your legacy. Well, thanks for watching. Keep trusting the one who rules over you, even in the challenging moments. I hope that encourages you. God bless.